All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson or just a quick comment on the whole thing that's going on within the UK right now, right, with all these riots and all of that stuff, right, and going into how don't fall for the trick that these heathen are going to use to try and get you involved in something that ain't got nothing to do with you. And this is like to all the Israelites out there, man. All you so-called black people, Latinos, Native Americans, don't fall for the trick of any of these heathen, dirty, stinking heathens, man, trying to get you involved in something that's got absolutely nothing to do with you, man. Right? This is one of the only times where all the complaining going on in the world ain't got nothing to do with us. And all you like Jakes out there, man, don't be stupid, man. Don't be an idiot and allow these people to fool you into getting you involved in something that ain't got nothing to do with you, man. And they did it last time with all the stuff that's going on in the land of Israel. They was trying to get you to pick a side. They was trying to ask your opinion. I don't have do what they do. Do what they've always did. Don't have an opinion, right? Stand on a fence. Because whenever we've had problems or grievances with our lives, none of these people ever wanted to pick a side and always wanted to say stuff like, well, you have got problems going on with your own self, so why are you complaining about this? And that's the same thing we can say to them. They're complaining about some people harming children, right? But they they don't care about the people from their own people that harm children, right? They've got all these grievances about what's gone on with this situation in Southport, right? But what about Lucy Letby though? What about that, right? And that's the same thing that Dave tried to say. They've always tried to say these things to us, and just be on the lookout, man. I've been thinking about this, man, and I can tell that they're gonna try and find a way to get us involved in this somehow, man. To try and point out and try and bring us in on this, man. Right? I've been trying to think on how they're gonna try and get us involved, man. And you, Jakes, like our people, us brothers that are Hebrew Israelites, man, that we believe we're Hebrew Israelites, we already know how dumb our people are, man. The scriptures speak about how stiff-necked the Israelites are, man, and how simple they are, man. Right? And just be on the look. We're gonna be on the lookout, man, for how they're gonna try and get us involved in this some way, man, some way, shape, or form. They're gonna try and bring so-called black people into this and want to ask our opinion. You know what I mean? They always want to try and ask our opinion, man. They did it with the whole October BS. Or what do you think about this? Or what do you think? And they're gonna try and do the same thing with this as well. And I've already seen some things on the internet where you had people calling in on some of them shows where they come in and where these Edomites call in and complain, right? And then it went from them talking about Asians, right? The guy initially mentioned Asians, and then the person that was doing the answering the call and doing the thing, he started talking about us, and then he started ending up finishing the conversation with mostly talking about us. But the initial conversation started off with them talking about people that ain't us, man. This is a time that we can just relax. But Jake is so dumb that it's almost like they want to be involved in it, man, and they want to try and get their self involved, man. Just let them deal with it themselves, man. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Don't get involved, right? It's none of our business, man. Stand with your arms folded on the side and shake your head like they normally do to us, right? And just stand on the side and have an opinion silently, man, in your house. Don't be telling these people what you think about it and all that, man. It's none of their damn business, man. It's got nothing to do with us, none of this. It's got nothing to do with us whatsoever, man. And don't fall for the trick of them trying to get you involved, right? When it's got nothing to do with you. It's two completely different sets of completely different groups of people that have got grievances amongst themselves. Let them deal with it themselves, man. Don't get involved, man. Right? Don't trim your ways to seek love. Don't try and feel like you have to pacify any side of these people. Fuck them. Because that's how they think about our grievances that we have. They've always felt that way about our grievances, man. And that's the whole reason why Yahweh's tearing his kingdom down anyway. Now, I've just been thinking about that, man. Like this world is always trying to get our opinion on all of these things, so they acknowledge that we're really supposed to rule by even trying to ask our opinion on everything all the time anyway. But then at the same time, they don't want us to really rule over them. But then they want to ask our opinion on this. They want to ask our opinion on that. But then when it comes down to it, they're rebellious and they're against us at the same time. But then they want to ask our opinion on certain things all the time and leave us the hell alone, man. And this is just a video which people don't have to listen to anything I got to say, right? But this is something that I was thinking about, man. Don't get involved. It's none of our business, right? Don't get involved. It's none of our business, man. Don't fall for the trick of any of these idiots trying to get you involved in something that ain't got nothing to do with you. Which we know that ultimately the certain things that they're going to put in place are really, as us as Israelites, we know that certain things they're going to try and do to put in place is going to be to try and ultimately come at the true doctrine of the Bible. But don't give them help by getting yourself involved. And like, none of you Jakes don't start going out and marching with these people like idiots, man. Now, I don't know why our people are so stupid, man. There's always some where's Wally, Jake or Eve scattered in the mist of one of these things that ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Stop being so dumb. Right? Why are our people always so stupid, man? And we know the reason why they're so stupid anyway. When we read the scriptures, it's because they're blinded. Right? Just leave them, man. Leave them to deal with their own situation, man. Leave them to deal with their own problems, man. We got enough of our own problems as a nation. That's what everyone else says about when they've got their thing going on, right? They always want to talk about, oh, you're complaining, you're marching, but your own people kill your own people. Well, okay, you're marching, but your own people kill your own people. You're looting, but your own people kill your own people. And we can point out all the different world wars to prove it, right? Oh, you're marching and you're grieved about all of this, but what about that bogged out Olympic ceremony, man? So, like, you say you're Christian countries, right? So take the beam out of your own eye. Like the scriptures say, that's what you've always said to us, right? So leave us alone, man. We don't care. We ain't got an opinion. We ain't got an opinion on anything, man. It's none of our business at the end of the day. Just like how when we've got a grievance, it's none of your business. That's what you say, right? But then they're still going to try and somehow get us involved, man. They're going to try and find a way to try and speak it and try and want to know what we got to say about it. Leave us alone, man. I just thought I'd say this, man, because I was thinking about that, man. Like how I was just watching. I've been watching some of the things on the news and all that, and I've just been thinking about how they're gonna try in some way, shape, or form, try and tangle this thing back in with us. Because even when the lockdown came, man, and it's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when it happened all them years ago. Like about it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. I couldn't believe it when the lockdown took place. But then at the same time, we know what the scriptures say. How they said, oh, things are getting worse. They pretty much said things are getting worse because Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not taking the thing. So even with that, they tried to blame that on us, man. So if they blame that a world thingy on us, right? You think they ain't gonna try and tie us in with this somehow? You think that they couldn't just try and stage some event and make one Jake or Eve get beat up when they're just minding their business, walking on the street, and then now Jake start jumping in and trying to get involved as well, like idiots, man. You Israelites need to, you 2/3, man. You need to, but then you're 2/3 anyway, so you ain't gonna fix up, man. But there's certain times where things ain't got nothing to do with you, and you need to just mind your business, right? We've got more than enough of our own problems to worry about, to not be having to jump in and have to play superhero to any of these other people's problems, man. We'll do that in the kingdom, right? In the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be the rulers of the earth, like it says in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, man. But as it stands right now, we've got more than enough of our own problems. We need to pray to Yahweh that he ain't gonna make us take the MOTB. We need to pray to Yahweh that we've even still got faith in him leading up to the time that the MOTB comes, because there's demons and spirits out here that are making people even lose faith before that time even comes around, to the point where they've already lost their salvation before the MOTB comes, man. And it's just waiting for them to end up taking that for it to be truly sealed. We got more than enough of our own problems as a nation to not be having to get involved in other nations' affairs, man. That's what all these other nations do. They don't want to ever get involved and help us every single time. Any time that there's any grievance that we have as Jakes, right? And then we starting to make laws and stuff like that get in place, right? Whenever every single time we've did that, then every single time another nation comes through and hijacks it, and they're like, oh yeah, they should never, like, yeah, racism's bad against, it's awful what they're doing to those blacks. It's awful what they did to those Native Americans. And I don't think that anybody should have to go through stuff like this. So let's get these rainbow people some things going on with them now. Because now we've agreed that it's harsh what happens to people. So then now, okay, no one should have to go through this and then it ends up being a thing where the things that we was asking for, they end up giving it to some other group, man. And you Jakes are still doing it all the time now. You dummies, man. You still want to march, like you still want to vote like idiots, man. And then you'll say, oh, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Yeah, I can complain and not vote, man. Yeah, we can. Because we're supposed to be voting for our own people. And then you idiots, here it is, you stupid idiot so-called black women, man. And I gotta say it like this, man, you stupid idiot so-called black women. You don't ever normally want any light-skinned actual so-called black woman because their mother might be an Edomite or something like that, but their father's a Jake. You don't normally want any of them to ever be considered as so-called black women because their hair might look nicer than yours, right? And their hair is real, out their hair and long. And you'll be like, oh, nah, girl, you ain't black, you mixed, girl. You ain't black, you mixed. You mixed. Your mama white. You're down for that when it comes to your own actual people. That their fathers are Israelite, a so-called black man, Latino and Native American. And you don't want you so-called black women, you don't want the Mexican women and the Native American women to actually be have a connection with them and them to be Israelites and us to be Israelites, right? But then when it comes to this bug out Kamala Harris, right? When it comes to her, you're down to try and claim her as being a so-called black woman, though. When she said out of her mouth, she's Indian. She said it out of her own mouth, you dummies. We got our own problems, man. We got our problems in among our own nation, like how the so-called black man and the so-called black woman can't get along, and how the so-called black woman just the most polite individual that you'd ever see in your life when it comes to the so-called white man. But then when it comes to the own man of her own nation, she's an absolute demon. Like she needs to be put in a damn straitjacket when it comes to how she treats the own man of her nation, right? And then she's got a problem when the men of her nation point it out, but ain't prepared to change her ways. And how the so-called black woman hates even her own children that come from between her feet too. And how the so-called black woman, the safest place, the most dangerous place for any child to be of our nation is in the mother's womb. Yet you idiots are going to end up trying to fall for the tricks when they try and get you involved in these riots and all this stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. Look at the people that are doing this stuff, man. They're Edomites. Don't get involved, man. It's none of your business. Don't fall for the trick. Let them deal with their grievances that they got, man. Who cares, man? The fall of this is their kingdom falling. Like I've been hearing brothers say, man, this is their kingdom falling. This ain't got nothing to do with us. This ain't our kingdom anyway. This ain't our kingdom. They're quick to tell us it ain't our country, right? And they're quick to tell us that we ain't really English and we ain't this and we ain't that. So who cares if they're rioting, man? Let them riot, man. Let them complain about whatever they want to complain about, man. It's got nothing. Don't get involved in none of it, man. Don't be out there marching with these dummies. Don't start falling for none of their tricks to try and get you involved and all of that. And when you're at work trying to ask your opinion, I don't want to talk about nothing political at work. How about that? How about you keep political things outside of the workplace? You know, that's the kind of way that Esau does. But when it comes to things with your grievances among your own people, then they want to stay on point with how you're supposed to talk about things. To hell with them, man. To hell with all that. And Salakia for this like Benjamite rant, man. You know what I mean? But sometimes you got to bun out this place, man, because this place is wicked. And these people have always been trying to talk. But when in 2011, right, when all that stuff was taking place, and where it seemed in certain cities that the majority of people that were rioting and looting and all that were so-called black people, they were quick to say something then. But now all of a sudden that it's mainly so-called white people that are doing it. The government's not listening. The government's not listening, right? Now all of a sudden they can understand and see why people are doing things now, right? But whenever we've had a grievance, they could never understand anything that we did. So now we don't care about their grievances, man. Deal with it yourself. Like how you always tried to make us deal with our own problems and didn't care. And I'm going to say shalom to the elect, to the nation of Israel, man. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.